The kick connects with Elena's shin. Not hard enough to break bone. Hard enough to send her stumbling backward into a display of crystal perfume bottles. They shatter around her like ice, the sound sharp and final in the sudden silence of Latte Department Store's 6th floor. Her hand goes to her stomach. Instinct. Protection. For months. She's 4 months pregnant. Calvin Hayes, venture capitalist, her ex-boyfriend, the man who left her homeless and bleeding 2 years ago, stands over her with his pregnant fiancée clutching his arm. Rebecca Park. 6 months along, designer maternity dress, diamond the size of a knuckle. Calvin's face twists into something ugly. Still getting knocked up by men who'll leave you, Elena? The baby clothes she'd been holding scatter across the marble floor. Tiny socks. A onesie with stars. Elena tries to stand. Her legs shake. Security rushes forward, but 2 men in black suits are faster. They appear from nowhere, stepping between Elena and Calvin with the kind of precision that makes shoppers freeze mid-step. One of them, Young-sun, broad-shouldered, scar across his jaw, pulls out his phone. His voice is flat. "Boss, it's Elena. Someone hurt her." Calvin doesn't understand yet. He's still talking, still sneering. "I know her. She's nothing. Just some." Young-sun's fist breaks his nose. Blood sprays across Rebecca's white dress. She screams. Elena is shaking now, hands pressed against her belly, checking for wetness, for blood, for any sign that the kick did more than bruise. "The baby," she whispers. "Please, check the baby." Young-sun's partner, Dae-young, younger, tattoos creeping up his neck, kneels beside her. Ambulance is 2 minutes out. "Don't move." "The baby?" "We'll check. Just breathe." Calvin is on the ground, hands over his face, shouting about lawsuits and police. Security has him pinned. His blood pools beneath him, mixing with perfume and glass. Elena closes her eyes. This is how Ji-hyuk will find out she left the penthouse without telling him. And Choi Ji-hyuk doesn't forgive disobedience. 2 years earlier, Chicago. Elena met Calvin at an art gallery in Chicago. She was 23, broke, waitressing between painting gigs. He was 28, finance degree from Northwestern, family money he pretended not to have. He bought her a drink, told her she was beautiful, asked about her paintings like he actually cared. She fell fast. 3 months in, she moved into his apartment. 6 months in, she was pregnant. 7 months in, he was gone. She came home to an empty apartment. No furniture. No clothes. No Calvin. Just a note on the kitchen counter next to her empty wallet. "I can't do this. You trapped me. Don't try to find me." He'd taken everything. The $85,000 her grandmother left her. The savings from her paintings. Even her laptop. Elena gave birth alone in a women's shelter on the south side. December. Snowing. The baby, Jane, came 6 weeks early. She lived for 6 hours. Elena held her the entire time. Memorized her face. The way her fingers curled. The small gasp she made before she stopped breathing. They asked if she wanted to hold her after. Elena said yes. She held her daughter's body until a nurse gently took her away. She didn't cry. Not then. She was too empty. Elena came to Seoul because Chicago had too many ghosts. She found work painting murals in Itaewon. Clubs, restaurants, anywhere that paid cash. She lived in a closet-sized apartment above a convenience store and painted at night when the streets were quiet. That's when she met him. She was finishing a mural behind Club Azure, a garden of death, flowers growing from skeletal hands, when a man's voice cut through the rain. "You paint death beautifully." She turned. Choi Ji-hyuk stood under a black umbrella, suited, hair slicked back. Mid-30s, maybe. Hard to tell. He had the kind of face that could be 30 or 50 depending on the light. Handsome in a way that made you nervous. And the tattoos. They started at his wrists, cherry blossoms in full bloom, and disappeared under his collar. She could see more at his throat. Spider lilies. Peonies. His entire body was a garden. "It's not for sale," Elena said, turning back to her mural. "I'm not offering to buy it." He stepped closer. Rain soaked into her clothes. "I'm offering you a job." She kept painting. "I don't work for men I don't know." Choi Ji-hyuk. He didn't extend his hand. I own this club. And 6 others in Gangnam. She knew the name. Everyone in Itaewon knew the name. The gardener. Seoul's most dangerous man. They said he left white lilies at crime scenes. They said he inherited his empire from his father, but made it worse. Smarter. Bloodier. I'm not interested in working for criminals, Elena said. Ji-hyuk smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. You're already painting on my wall. She looked at him then. Really looked. You want me to stop? I want you to keep going. Inside. Where it's dry. He handed her a business card. Think about it. He walked away before she could respond. Elena stayed in the rain for another hour, finishing the mural. When she was done, she looked at the card. It had no name, just a phone number and an address in Gangnam. She told herself she wouldn't call. She called the next morning. Elena painted murals in all 7 of Ji-hyuk's clubs. He paid her more than she'd made in a year in Chicago. Gave her an apartment in Hanam-dong. Never asked her why she came to Seoul or why she painted death like it was something sacred. He watched her work sometimes. Stood in silence while she climbed ladders and mixed colors. Once, she asked him why he liked her paintings. Because you understand what most people don't, he said. What's that? Death isn't the end. It's just a different garden. She stopped painting. Looked at him. Who did you lose? His jaw tightened. Everyone. He left before she could ask more. But after that, he started staying longer. Bringing her coffee. Asking about her day. Small things. Nothing that felt like courting. More like noticing. Elena told herself it didn't mean anything. Then one night, she stayed late finishing a mural in Club Midnight. It was 3 a.m. The club was closed. She was alone, or thought she was, until she felt someone behind her. Ji-hyuk. He was close enough that she could smell his cologne. See the new tattoo on his collarbone. Orchids. Those are new, she said, not turning around. Got them last week. Why orchids? They're your favorite. Her brush stilled. How do you know that? You paint them everywhere. She finally turned. He was too close. She should step back. She didn't. Why would you get a tattoo of my favorite flower? She asked. His eyes, dark, unreadable, held hers. Because I wanted to. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. He left. Elena stared at the orchids blooming across his skin and felt something inside her chest. Something dangerous. She slept with him. No preamble. No romance. She showed up at his penthouse in Gangnam at midnight, drenched from rain, and kissed him before he could ask why she was there. He kissed her back. It wasn't gentle. Neither of them knew how to be gentle. But it was real. Afterward, lying in his bed, his tattooed arms around her, she said, "This doesn't mean anything." Okay, I'm serious. I'm not looking for this. Then why are you here? She didn't answer. He didn't push. They fell into a rhythm after that. She painted. He ran his empire. Sometimes she stayed over. Sometimes she didn't. He never asked her to define it. Never pushed for more. It went on like that for a month. They'd fought. About something stupid. She couldn't even remember what. But she'd shown up at his penthouse angry, and he'd been waiting for her like he knew she'd come. You can't keep doing this, she'd said. Doing what? Acting like you own me. He'd stepped closer. I don't own you. Then why do I feel like I can't breathe when I'm not here? His hand had cupped her face. Because you're falling for me. And it terrifies you. She'd kissed him to shut him up. That night was different. Slower. He touched her like he was memorizing her. She let him. 3 weeks later, she missed her period. Elena took 6 pregnancy tests. All positive. She sat on the bathroom floor of her Hanam-dong apartment and stared at the little pink lines until they blurred. Not again. Please, not again. She thought about calling Ji-hyuk. Didn't. Thought about leaving Seoul. Didn't. Thought about 100 things and did none of them. Instead, she painted. A mural of hope. Her daughter's face, 2 years gone, still perfect in her memory. Ji-hyuk found her 2 days later, passed out on the floor of Club Azure, covered in paint. He carried her to his car. Took her to his private doctor. Stayed while they ran tests. When the doctor said, she's pregnant. About 4 weeks. dehydrated and malnourished, but the baby's heartbeat is strong. Ji-hyuk went completely still. Elena, half conscious, heard his voice. Cold. Controlled. Why didn't you tell me? She didn't answer. He drove her to his penthouse, put her in his bed, sat in a chair across the room, and watched her sleep. When she woke, he was still there. I'm keeping it, she said. I know. I don't expect anything from you. That's idiotic. I mean it. I can do this alone. Ji-hyuk leaned forward, elbows on his knees, eyes like flint. You're carrying my child. You think I'm letting you do this alone. You don't get to decide that. Watch me. They stared at each other. Elena looked away first. I'm not marrying you. I didn't ask. You will. Probably. And I'll say no. We'll see. He stood, crossed to the bed, sat on the edge. His hand hovered over her stomach, hesitant. She took his wrist, placed his palm flat against her still flat belly. I lost a baby before, she said quietly. 2 years ago. A girl. She lived for 6 hours. His hand flexed against her skin. That's why I came to Seoul. That's why I paint death. Her voice cracked. Because I held my daughter while she died, and I can't stop seeing her face. Ji-hyuk said nothing, just kept his hand on her stomach. If I lose this one, you won't. You can't promise that. I can promise I'll do everything in my power to make sure you don't. He looked at her. Move in with me. Let me take care of you. I'm not a possession. I know. Move in anyway. Why? Because I want to wake up every morning and know you're safe. Because I want to see you paint our son's room. Because he stopped. Started again. Because I'm falling for you too. And it terrifies me. She stared at him. He stood. Think about it. He left her alone in his bed, his hand's warmth still lingering on her skin. She moved in the next day. Living with Ji-hyuk was strange. He worked late, came home smelling like expensive whiskey and sometimes blood. Never told her what he did, but she saw the news. Heard the whispers. The gardener struck again. Another white lily left at another crime scene. She should be afraid. She wasn't. Because at night, he'd come to bed and pull her against him, his tattooed hands resting on her growing belly, and she'd feel safe. At her 12-week appointment, the doctor asked if they wanted to know the sex. Yes, Ji-hyuk said before Elena could answer. The doctor smiled. It's a boy. Congratulations. Ji-hyuk's hand tightened on hers. In the car, he was quiet. You okay? Elena asked. I have a son. We have a son. He looked at her. I won't be like my father. I know. How? Because you asked me about death. And you understood my answer. He pulled her across the console, kissed her forehead. Thank you. For what? For giving me this. For trusting me. I don't trust you, she said. Not completely. I know. But you're here anyway. Yeah, that's enough. At 16 weeks, Elena's bump was visible. Ji-hyuk became unbearable. Guards followed her everywhere. He tracked her phone. Called her twice a day. Wouldn't let her paint in the clubs anymore. Too dangerous. Too many drunk people. What if someone bumped into her? She wanted to kill him. I'm pregnant. Not made of glass, she snapped one morning. You're carrying my son. Same thing. I'm going to the mall. Alone. Take Young-san and Dae-young. No. Elena. I need 2 hours where I'm not suffocating. She grabbed her purse. 2 hours. That's it. He caught her wrist. You don't understand what you mean to people who want to hurt me. And you don't understand what it's like to be treated like a prisoner. They stared at each other. He let go. Take them. Stay in public places. 2 hours. Fine. She left. That was this morning. Now she's on the floor of Latte department store, Calvin's blood pooling near her feet, and Ji-hyuk's men are telling her not to move. The ambulance arrives. So does Ji-hyuk. Elena just got kicked by the man who destroyed her life, while carrying the baby of Seoul's most dangerous man. Will Ji-hyuk destroy Calvin, or is there something worse coming? Ji-hyuk walks into Latte department store like he owns it, which he does. 6 men flank him. All armed. All silent. Shoppers part like water, some pulling out phones, others just staring. Everyone knows his face. The gardener. Seoul's nightmare in a tailored suit. Elena is still on the ground when he reaches her. Paramedics are checking her vitals, but Ji Hyuk doesn't look at them. He looks at her. Her dress is torn at the knee. There's a cut on her elbow. Her hands are still pressed against her stomach. "The baby," she says when she sees him. Not hello. Not I'm sorry. Just the baby. Ji Hyuk kneels. Ignores the paramedic trying to brief him. Takes Elena's face in his hands. "Are you bleeding?" "I don't think so." "Did you hit your stomach?" "No. My leg. I fell." "Where is he?" Elena's eyes flick to the left. Security has Calvin pinned against a perfume counter 20 feet away. His nose is clearly broken, blood covering his shirt. Rebecca is beside him, crying, trying to pull security off. Ji Hyuk stands. "Ji Hyuk," Elena says. Her voice shakes. "Don't." He doesn't answer. Just walks toward Calvin with the kind of calm that makes Yong-sun and Daejung move faster, clearing a path. Security sees him coming. "Let's go of Calvin immediately." Steps back. Calvin straightens, wiping blood from his face. He's still talking. Still doesn't get it. "You need to control your psycho bodyguards, man. I'm pressing charges. I know people." Ji Hyuk hits him. Once. Hard. Calvin drops. The store goes silent. Ji Hyuk crouches, grabs Calvin by his hair, forces him to look up. "You touched her." Calvin spits blood. "I didn't." "You kicked her." "It was an accident." "She's pregnant." Calvin's face changes. Confusion first. Then understanding. Then fear. "You kicked a pregnant woman," Ji Hyuk says, voice soft. "Deadly. My pregnant woman. Carrying my son." Rebecca gasps. Backs away. Calvin tries to speak. Ji Hyuk's hand tightens in his hair. "Do you know who I am?" Ji Hyuk asks. I don't." Choi Ji Hyuk. He lets the name settle. Watches Calvin's face drain of color. "You kicked my woman. You put my son at risk. And now you're going to pay for it." "I didn't know." "You knew enough." Ji Hyuk stands, releases him. Looks at Yong-sun. "Take him." "Wait," Calvin scrambles backward. "Wait, we can talk about this." Yong-sun hauls him up by his collar. Dae-young grabs his other arm. "Please," Calvin begs. "Please, I'm sorry." Ji Hyuk turns away. Walks back to Elena. The paramedics are loading her onto a stretcher. "I'm fine," she's saying. "I don't need a hospital." "You're going," Ji Hyuk says. Not a suggestion. She looks at him. At Calvin being dragged toward the exit. At the blood on the floor. "What are you going to do to him?" "What I should have done the first time he hurt you." "You don't even know." "I know everything." He climbs into the ambulance beside her. "I've known since the day you painted Hope's face in my club." Elena goes still. "You knew about her?" "I know you gave birth alone in a shelter." "I know he stole $85,000 from you." "I know he left you to starve." Ji Hyuk's voice is ice. "I know everything, Elena. I've known from the beginning." "Then why didn't you?" "Because you weren't ready to talk about it." He takes her hand. "But now he's touched you again. And I don't wait anymore." The ambulance doors close. The baby is fine. Heartbeat strong. No signs of distress. The doctor, a woman in her 50s, who clearly knows who Ji Hyuk is, smiles professionally. "You're very lucky, Mrs. Choi." "I'm not," Elena starts. "She is," Ji Hyuk interrupts. Looks at the doctor. "When can she leave?" "We'd like to monitor her for a few hours. Just to be safe." "Fine. Private room." "Of course." The doctor leaves. Elena and Ji Hyuk are alone. She stares at the monitor showing their son's heartbeat. Steady. Alive. "I'm sorry," she says. "For what?" "For leaving without telling you." "For?" "You wanted 2 hours of freedom." "I understand." Ji Hyuk sits on the edge of the bed. "But you need to understand something too." She looks at him. "You're not just my lover anymore. You're the mother of my child. That makes you a target. People who want to hurt me will come for you. That man, Calvin, he's nothing. But there are others. Worse ones." His hand covers hers on her stomach. "I can't protect you if you won't let me. I don't want to be a prisoner. I don't want you to be one either. But I need you alive. So what do we do? You let me handle Calvin. And you trust that I won't hurt you." Elena's throat tightens. "I lost hope because I trusted the wrong man. I'm not him. I know. But I'm still scared." Ji-hyuk leans forward, presses his forehead to hers. Good. Fear keeps you careful. Just don't let it keep you from me. She closes her eyes. What are you going to do to him? Do you want to know? She thinks about Calvin's sneer. His kick. The way he called her nothing. Yes, she whispers. Ji-hyuk pulls back. Looks at her. I'm going to destroy him. His career. His reputation. His engagement. Everything he built on your money. He pauses. And then I'm going to make sure he understands what happens when you touch what's mine. Will you kill him? Do you want me to? Elena's hand tightens on her stomach. She thinks about hope. About the shelter. About the note Calvin left. No, she says finally. Death is too easy. I want him to suffer. Ji-hyuk smiles. It's not kind. Then he'll suffer. Elena was discharged from the hospital at 9 p.m. Ji-hyuk brings her home, to his penthouse, not the apartment she still technically keeps, but never stays in. She's too tired to argue. He leads her to the bedroom. Sits her on the bed. Kneels in front of her. What are you doing? She asks. Checking. He lifts her dress carefully, examines the bruise blooming across her shin. His jaw clenches. It looks worse than it feels. That's not the point. He stands, disappears into the bathroom. Returns with antiseptic and bandages. Elena watches him clean the cut on her elbow. His hands are gentle. Careful. Nothing like the man who broke Calvin's nose with one punch. You have blood under your nails, she says quietly. He glances at his hands. I'll wash it off. Is it his? Yes. Good. Ji-hyuk finishes bandaging her elbow. Sits beside her on the bed. Are you angry with me? For what? For knowing about Hope. About Calvin. For not telling you I knew. Elena considers. I should be. But you're not. No. Because if you'd asked, I would have lied. She looks at him. How did you find out? I have people who find things out. It's what I do. You investigated me. The day after you called about the job. He doesn't apologize. I don't let strangers into my life, Elena. I needed to know who you were. And I found a woman who survived something that should have killed her. Who turned grief into art. Who came to a foreign country alone and rebuilt herself. His hand cups her face. I found someone worth protecting. Elena's eyes burn. I'm not some broken thing you need to fix. I know. You fixed yourself. I just want to make sure no one breaks you again. She kisses him. Soft. Slow. He pulls back. You're hurt. I'm fine. Elena. I need this. I need to feel something other than afraid. She pushes him back on the bed, climbs into his lap. Please. He studies her face. If you're in pain, I'll tell you. Her hands go to his shirt buttons. I promise. He lets her undress him. The tattoos covering his body bloom in the lamplight. Cherry blossoms across his chest. Spider lilies down his ribs. Peonies wrapped around his arms. And there, over his heart, the orchids. Elena traces them with her fingertips. When did you know? Know what? That you wanted me. The first night. In the rain. You looked at me like I was human. You're human. Not to most people. She leans down, kisses the orchids over his heart. You are to me. They make love slowly. He's careful with her. Mindful of her bruises, her exhaustion, the baby between them. She tells him when to stop, when to go slower, when she needs more. Afterward, she lies against his chest, his arms around her, his hand on her stomach. Marry me, he says into her hair. No. Why not? Because you only want to marry me to keep me safe. Not because you love me. Who says I don't love you? Elena lifts her head. Looks at him. Do you? Ji-hyuk's thumb brushes her cheek. I don't know what love is supposed to feel like. But I know I think about you constantly. I know I want to kill anyone who hurts you. I know the idea of you leaving makes me violent. He pauses. If that's not love, I don't know what is. That's obsession. Maybe, but it's mine. And it's yours. His hand spreads across her stomach. And it's his. Elena's throat tightens. I'm scared. Of what? Of losing him. Of losing you. Of being happy and having it ripped away again. Then don't be happy. Be safe. Be here. Be mine. He pulls her closer. And let me be yours. She closes her eyes. Ask me again in a month. Why a month? Because by then, I'll know if you're doing this out of obligation or because you actually want me. I want you. Prove it. How? By not asking again. By just being here. Being this. She touches his face. If you still want to marry me in a month, ask then. Ji-hyuk studies her. Fine. 1 month. And you handle Calvin your way. I don't want to know the details. Agreed. She settles back against his chest. Listens to his heartbeat. Strong. Steady. Alive. Ji-hyuk. Thank you. For coming. For not asking questions. His arms tighten around her. I'll always come. 3 days later. Elena wakes to find Ji-hyuk gone. There's a note on his pillow. Meeting. Back by noon. Young-sun is outside if you need anything. She showers. Dresses. Sits in the living room and tries to paint, but her hands shake. 3 days since the mall. 3 days since Calvin kicked her. 3 days of Ji-hyuk being colder than usual, not to her, but to everyone else. She's seen him on the phone at odd hours. Seen him leave in the middle of the night. Seen the way his men look at him now. Something is happening. She's painting their son, imagining his face, his hands, his eyes, when her phone rings. Unknown number. Elena Washington? A man's voice. Unfamiliar. American. Who is this? My name is Richard Hayes. I'm Calvin's father. Elena's blood goes cold. I don't want to talk to you. Wait, please. I'm not calling to defend my son. I'm calling to warn you. She should hang up. Warn me about what? About what your boyfriend is doing to my family. I don't know what you're talking about. Calvin's trust fund has been frozen. His job fired him this morning. His fiancé's father is threatening to press assault charges. And last night, someone sent medical records to every major news outlet in Seoul. His voice shakes. Records detailing your miscarriage 2 years ago. Records proving Calvin's paternity. Elena can't breathe. That baby, Richard Hayes says quietly. Calvin told me you miscarried because of stress. Because you couldn't handle the pregnancy. But these records, they say you were malnourished. That you'd been homeless for weeks. A pause. Did my son do that to you? Elena's hand goes to her stomach. Yes. Silence. Then, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Calvin said. He stops. Starts again. It doesn't matter what he said. I should have asked. I should have cared. Why are you calling me? Because whoever is doing this won't stop. And I think you're the only person who can make them stop. I'm not making him stop. Your son kicked me while I was pregnant. He deserves whatever is happening to him. And Rebecca? She's 6 months pregnant, Elena. She had nothing to do with what Calvin did to you. But now her father wants to annul the engagement, and she's getting death threats online because people think she knew what Calvin did. Elena closes her eyes. That's not my problem. It will be. When this escalates. When people start asking questions about who's doing this and why. When they connect it back to you and realize you're involved with. Goodbye, Mr. Hayes. She hangs up. Sits in silence. Her phone rings again. Different number. She answers. What? Ji-hyuk's voice is cold. Did you just speak to Richard Hayes? How did you? I monitor your calls. Did you speak to him? Yes. What did he say? That you're destroying Calvin's life. That you sent medical records to the press. That Rebecca is getting death threats. She stands. Is it true? Yes. All of it. Yes. Ji-hyuk. You told me to make him suffer. I'm making him suffer. Not his pregnant fiancée. She's collateral damage. Elena's hands shake. Stop. What? I said stop. Leave Rebecca alone. She didn't do anything. Silence. Then, no. Excuse me. I said no. She was there, Elena. She watched him kick you and did nothing. She's not innocent. She's pregnant. So are you. And he kicked you anyway. Ji-hyuk's voice drops. I don't care about her. I care about you. And I'm not stopping until Calvin Hayes understands what he took from you. This isn't justice. This is revenge. You're right. It is. A pause. And I'm not sorry. The line goes dead. Elena stares at her phone. Then she picks up her keys. Ji-hyuk is dismantling Calvin's entire life, but is he going too far? And what happens when Elena realizes the man protecting her baby might be just as dangerous as the man who hurt her? Yong-sun tries to stop her at the door. "Mrs. Choi," the boss said. "I'm not Mrs. Choi." Elena pushes past him. "And I'm leaving. I can't let you do that." She turns, looks him dead in the eye. "Are you going to physically restrain a pregnant woman?" Yong-sun's jaw tightens. He steps aside. Elena takes the elevator down 43 floors. Steps out into the Gangnam afternoon. Hails a cab. "Where to?" the driver asks. She gives him an address she got from Richard Hayes' call. He'd texted it after she hung up. "If you want to see what your boyfriend is really capable of, come here." The address is in 81. An office building. Nondescript. The cab drops her off. She pays. Stands on the sidewalk staring up at the glass facade. Her phone rings. Ji Hyuk. She declines. It rings again. She turns it off. Inside, the lobby is empty except for a security guard who doesn't look up from his phone. Elena takes the elevator to the 7th floor. Suite 702. The door is slightly open. She pushes it. Calvin sits behind a desk. His face is a mess, nose bandaged, both eyes blackened, lips split. He's on the phone, voice tight. "I don't care what the lawyers say. Find a way to unfreeze the account. My father has connections." He sees her. Goes silent. "I'll call you back." He hangs up. Stares at her. "What the hell are you doing here?" Elena steps inside. Closes the door. "Your father called me." "Of course he did." Calvin stands. Winces. "Here to gloat? Here to tell your psycho boyfriend to back off?" She doesn't answer. Just looks at him. Really looks. He's thinner than she remembers. Harder around the edges. 2 years ago, she thought he was handsome. Now he just looks mean. "You kicked me," she says quietly. "It was an accident. You called me nothing. I was angry. You stole everything I had. You left me homeless. You killed our daughter." Calvin's face twists. "I didn't kill anyone. You lost that baby because you couldn't take care of yourself." Elena laughs. "It sounds hollow. I lost hope because I was starving. Because you took the only money I had. Because I was living in a shelter in December with no coat and no food." She steps closer. "I held her while she died, Calvin. 6 hours. I watched her stop breathing because her body was too small, too weak, because I couldn't give her what she needed. That's not my fault." "You're right. It's not your fault she died. It's your fault she suffered." Elena's voice shakes. "So yes, I told Ji Hyuk to make you suffer. Because you deserve it." Calvin's hands curl into fists. "That man is a criminal. A killer. You think you're safe with him. Safer than I ever was with you. He's using you. Once the baby is born. Stop talking about my son like you have any right to. Your son." Calvin's laugh is bitter. "You're 4 months pregnant with a gangster's bastard, and you think that's something to be proud of?" Elena slaps him. Hard. Across his already broken face. He staggers back. Grabs the desk for balance. Blood seeps through the bandage on his nose. "Don't ever," Elena says, voice low, "talk about my son again." Calvin touches his face. Looks at the blood on his fingers. "You've changed. I survived you. That changes a person. I should call the cops. Have you arrested for assault?" "Go ahead. I'm sure they'd love to hear about how you kicked a pregnant woman in a mall 3 days ago." She turns toward the door. Stops. "One more thing." "What?" "Leave Rebecca alone. Whatever happens between you and Ji Hyuk, she doesn't deserve to be dragged into it. Since when do you care about Rebecca?" "I don't. But she's pregnant. And I know what it's like to suffer because of someone else's choices." Elena looks back at him. "So leave her out of it. Or I'll make sure Ji Hyuk doesn't stop until you have nothing left." She walks out. In the elevator, her hands shake. She leans against the wall, presses them to her stomach. "I did it," she thinks. "I faced him. And I didn't break." The elevator doors open. Ji Hyuk is standing in the lobby. Elena freezes. He's in a black suit, hair pushed back, jaw tight. Yong-sun and 2 other men flank him. He looks furious. "Get in the car," he says. Not loud. Not yelling. Worse. "How did you?" "I always know where you are. Get in the car." Elena doesn't move. "I needed to see him." "You want to see the man who kicked you? While pregnant. Alone." Ji Hyuk steps closer. "Are you trying to get yourself killed?" "He's not going to kill me. You don't know that. I know he's a coward. Cowards don't kill. They run. She straightens. I told him to leave Rebecca alone. Ji Hyok's eyes narrow. Excuse me? She's pregnant and innocent. So I told him. You don't give orders in my war, Elena. This isn't your war. It's mine. He hurt me first. And now he's mine to destroy. Ji Hyok's voice drops. You don't get to interfere. Watch me. They stare at each other. The lobby is silent except for the hum of overhead lights. Finally, Ji Hyok turns to Young-sun. Bring the car around. Young-sun nods. Disappears. Ji Hyok looks back at Elena. We're going home. And we're going to have a conversation about boundaries. I don't take orders from you. You do when your safety is involved. My safety. Elena steps closer. You sent medical records about my dead daughter to the press. You've been dismantling Calvin's life piece by piece. And you're lecturing me about safety. I'm protecting you. By making me a headline? By putting a target on my back. Ji Hyok's jaw clenches. No one will touch you. You can't promise that. I can. And I will. He takes her arm. Gently. Now get in the car. She pulls away. Not until you promise to leave Rebecca out of this. No. Ji Hyok. She watched him kick you, Elena. She stood there and did nothing. His voice hardens. That makes her complicit. She's 6 months pregnant and terrified. That makes her a victim. I don't care. Elena laughs. It's sharp. Of course you don't. Because to you, everyone is either an asset or a threat. There's no in between. That's how I stay alive. And what happens when I become a threat? When I don't do what you want? When I push back too hard? She touches her stomach. What happens to us then? Ji Hyok goes still. The car pulls up. Young-sun gets out, opens the back door. Get in, Ji Hyok says quietly. Answer the question. Elena. Answer it. His hand cups her face. Thumb brushing her cheek. You could never be a threat to me. You're the only thing in this world I care about keeping alive. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. He leans in. Whispers against her ear. Now get in the car before I carry you. She gets in. During the drive home, they don't speak. Elena stares out the window. Ji Hyok stares at his phone, typing rapidly. Occasionally, he glances at her. She pretends not to notice. When they pull up to the penthouse, she gets out before Young-sun can open her door. Ji Hyok follows her into the elevator. The doors close. You're angry, he says. Yes, because I wouldn't agree to leave Rebecca alone. Because you won't listen to me. Because you think protection means control. She looks at him. I'm not your possession, Ji Hyok. I'm not something you can lock away and keep safe by force. I know that. Do you? Because right now, it feels like I'm just another thing you own. The elevator reaches their floor. The doors open. Ji Hyok blocks her exit. You think I see you as a thing? I think you see me as something to protect. Which is different from seeing me as a person. You're wrong. Then prove it. Stop treating me like I'm fragile. Stop making decisions for me. Stop, her voice cracks. Stop making me feel like I'm back in that shelter, powerless and alone. Ji Hyok's expression shifts. Something softens. Elena. I went to see Calvin because I needed to know I could face him without falling apart. I needed to prove to myself that he doesn't have power over me anymore. She touches her stomach. Because if I can't stand up to him, how am I supposed to stand up for our son? Ji Hyok is quiet for a long moment. Then he steps aside. Go inside. I need to make a call. What kind of call? The kind where I fix my mistakes. He walks to his office. Closes the door. Elena stands in the hallway shaking. 20 minutes later. Ji Hyok finds her in the nursery. She's painting the walls. A mural of a garden. Cherry blossoms, orchids, peonies. Life, not death. Hope, not grief. It's beautiful, he says from the doorway. She doesn't turn around. What did you do? I called Richard Hayes. Told him the harassment against Rebecca stops immediately. Anyone who threatens her will answer to me. Elena's brush stills. Why? Because you asked me to. He steps into the room. And because you were right. She's not part of this. What about Calvin? He still pays. But on my terms, not through collateral damage. Elena sets down her brush. Turns. What are your terms? He makes a public apology. admits what he did to you, returns every dollar he stole, with interest. Ji-hyuk's voice is cold. And he signs away any parental rights to Hope's memory. No more claiming you trapped him. No more rewriting history. He'll never agree to that. He will. Because if he doesn't, I'll make sure what I've done so far looks like mercy. Elena studies his face. You're not going to kill him. No. You said you wanted him to suffer. Death ends suffering. Ji-hyuk moves closer. But I will make him watch while I give you everything he took. Money. Security. A family. A future. His hand covers hers on her stomach. I'll make him see what he could have had and know he'll never have it. That's cruel. Yes. I like it. His lips twitch. Almost a smile. Good. Elena leans against him. Exhausted suddenly. I'm sorry for going to see him alone. I'm sorry for trying to control you. You're still going to try, though. Probably. But I'll try to be better about listening when you push back. That's all I'm asking. They stand in the half-painted nursery, her back against his chest, his arms around her. Ji-hyuk. When you said I'm the only thing you care about keeping alive, did you mean it? Yes. Why? He's quiet. Then, because before you, everything in my life was about death. Building it. Controlling it. Using it. But you paint it like it's part of something bigger. Like it's not the end. His chin rests on top of her head. You make me think maybe I'm not just the gardener. Maybe I'm something else too. What do you want to be? I don't know yet. But I want to find out. He turns her around. Looks down at her. With you. Elena touches his face. Traces the line of his jaw. Ask me again. Ask you what? To marry you. His eyes search hers. I said I'd wait a month. I don't want to wait. Why? Because I already know the answer. She takes his hand, places it on her stomach. Because you just chose me over revenge. Because you listened. Because you're trying. Her voice softens. Because I love you. Ji-hyuk goes completely still. Say that again, he whispers. I love you. Elena. I love you. And I'm terrified. And I don't know if this is smart or safe or right. But I love you anyway. He kisses her. Hard. Desperate. Like she's oxygen and he's drowning. When he pulls back, his forehead rests against hers. Marry me. Yes. Tomorrow. What? Marry me tomorrow. Before you change your mind. Before something happens. Before. She kisses him. Stops the spiral. Okay. Tomorrow. But something small. Just us. And Young-sun. We need a witness. She laughs. Fine. Young-sun can come. Ji-hyuk lifts her. Carries her out of the nursery, down the hall, into their bedroom. What are you doing? Celebrating. We're not married yet. Practice then. He lays her on the bed. Kneels beside her. His hands frame her face. I don't know how to do this, he says quietly. How to be a husband. A father. A good man. Neither do I. Be a wife or mother, I mean. She covers his hands with hers. But we'll figure it out together. What if I fail? Then we'll fail together too. He kisses her again. Slower this time. Tender. They undress each other carefully. His tattoos bloom in the lamplight, the garden he carries on his skin. She traces them. Memorizes them. Knows them by heart now. When he moves over her, she pulls him close, wraps herself around him. I love you, she says again. Needs him to hear it. Needs him to know. His voice breaks. I love you too. They make love like it's the first time and the last time all at once. After, lying tangled together, her head on his chest, his hand on her stomach, Elena thinks about Hope. About the daughter she lost. The shelter. The cold. The hunger. About Calvin's note that she trapped him. About painting death because it was the only thing that made sense. And about this man, this dangerous, broken, beautiful man who saw her art and understood. Ji-hyuk. When we have him, our son, I want to name him something that means hope. In Korean? In Korean. He's quiet, thinking. Heejun. It means talented and bright. But also hope. Heejun Choi. And hope. As his middle name. She lifts her head. Looks at him. You remember. I remember everything you've told me. His thumb brushes her cheek. Heejun Hope Choi. So she's always with us. Elena's eyes burn. Yes, then that's his name. She settles back against his chest, listens to his heartbeat, feels their son move, tiny flutter, barely there, but real. We're getting married tomorrow, she says. Yes. Are you scared? Terrified. Good. Me too. His arms tighten around her. Go to sleep, Elena. What if I can't? Then I'll stay awake with you. And he does. Elena said yes, but their wedding is tomorrow and Calvin still hasn't paid for what he did. Will Jihyuk keep his promise to let Elena choose mercy? Or will the gardener do what he does best, destroy everything in his path? Elena wakes to an empty bed. Again. She rolls over, checks the time. 6 a.m. Her wedding day. There's a note on Jihyuk's pillow, getting everything ready. Stay here. I'll be back by noon. She sits up. Her stomach is starting to show more now, a definite curve beneath her nightshirt. She touches it. Feels the flutter of movement. Your father is insane, she tells her son. You should know that now. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. Again. She almost doesn't answer. But something makes her. Hello, Elena Washington? A woman's voice this time. Young. Shaking. Who is this? Rebecca Park. Calvin's a pause. Calvin's ex-fiancé. Elena sits up straighter. How did you get this number? His father gave it to me. I need to talk to you. About what? About Calvin. About what he did. Rebecca's voice cracks. Please. Just 5 minutes. Elena closes her eyes. She should hang up. Should tell Jihyuk. Should do anything except agree to this. Where? She asks. 40 minutes later. A cafe in Samcheongdong. Rebecca Park sits in the corner booth, hands wrapped around a cup of tea. She's beautiful. 6 months pregnant, glowing, expensive maternity dress. Everything Elena wasn't when she was pregnant with hope. Elena slides into the booth across from her. You have 5 minutes. Rebecca looks up. Her eyes are red. Thank you for coming. I didn't come for you. I came because I'm curious. About? About why the woman whose fiancé kicked me is asking for my help. Rebecca flinches. I didn't know he was going to do that. But you watched him do it. I was in shock. She stops. Starts again. I'm not here to make excuses. I'm here to tell you the truth. Elena waits. Calvin told me you were his ex. That you'd cheated on him. That you'd gotten pregnant to trap him, and when he left, you miscarried out of spite. Rebecca's hands shake around her cup. He said you were trying to ruin his life because you couldn't accept that he'd moved on. And you believed him. I had no reason not to. Until 3 days ago. Rebecca pulls out her phone. Shows Elena a news article. Until this. The headline, Venture capitalist Calvin Hayes under fire for abandoning pregnant girlfriend. Below it, photos of Elena from 2 years ago. Leaving the shelter. Visibly pregnant. Hollow-eyed and thin. And medical records. Hope's birth certificate. Time of birth. Time of death. Elena's hands curl into fists. I'm sorry, Rebecca whispers. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Now you do. What do you want from me? I want you to know I broke off the engagement. I told my father everything. I told Calvin I never want to see him again. Rebecca's voice shakes. And I want to apologize. For not stopping him. For believing his lies. Stop. Elena leans forward. You're not responsible for what he did. To me or to anyone else. But I stood there. In shock. Confused. Scared. Elena's voice softens slightly. I'm not angry at you, Rebecca. I'm angry at him. Rebecca wipes her eyes. The man you're with, Jihyuk, he called my father last night. Told him the threats would stop. That I'd be protected. I know. That was because of you, wasn't it? Elena doesn't answer. Thank you, Rebecca says. For that. For thinking of me even though I didn't deserve it. Your baby deserves it. You're just collateral kindness. Rebecca almost smiles. Can I ask you something? How did you survive it? Losing your daughter. Being alone. How did you keep going? Elena is quiet for a long moment. I didn't have a choice. Giving up felt like letting Calvin win. So I got up every morning and I chose to keep breathing. And eventually, breathing got easier. I don't know if I could do that. You won't have to. You have your father. Your family. Resources. Elena stands. You'll be fine, Rebecca. What about you? Are you fine? Elena touches her stomach. Thinks about Ji-hyuk. About the nursery. About the wedding happening in 6 hours. I'm getting there, she says. She walks out. Back at the penthouse. Young-sun is waiting in the living room when Elena returns. Boss wants to see you, he says. I thought he said noon. Plans changed. He's in his office. Elena walks down the hall. Knocks. Come in. Ji-hyuk sits behind his desk, phone pressed to his ear. He gestures for her to sit. She does. I don't care what his lawyers say, Ji-hyuk says into the phone. The apology happens today, or the next leak is worse. A pause. Good. Send me the draft. He hangs up. Looks at Elena. Where were you? Coffee shop. With Rebecca Park. His jaw tightens. Explain. She called. Wanted to apologize. I went. Without telling me. I'm a grown woman, Ji-hyuk. I don't need permission to have coffee. You need protection. I had it. Young-sun followed me. I saw him in the cafe across the street. She leans back. Don't pretend you didn't know. Ji-hyuk's lips twitch. Almost a smile. What did she want? To say she's sorry. To tell me she left Calvin. To ask how I survived losing hope. What did you tell her? That she'll be fine. That she has resources I didn't have. Elena pauses. And that I'm getting there. Are you? Getting there. Ask me after the wedding. Ji-hyuk stands. Comes around the desk. Kneels in front of her. His hands rest on her knees. I have something for you, he says. The wedding isn't until 5. This can't wait. He pulls a small box from his pocket. Opens it. Inside, a ring. Not a diamond. An opal. Surrounded by tiny orchids carved in white gold. It was my mother's, Ji-hyuk says quietly. The only thing I kept after she died. Elena stares at it. I can't take your mother's ring. She would have liked you. She painted too. Gardens, mostly. His thumb brushes her knee. She died when I was 12. My father gave me this and told me to save it for someone worth keeping. Ji-hyuk. You're worth keeping, Elena. Her throat tightens. What if I lose it? Then I'll buy you another one. But this one I want you to have. Because my mother understood grief. And she would have understood you. Elena lets him slide the ring onto her finger. It fits perfectly. How did you know my size? I know everything about you. That's creepy. That's love. She laughs. Pulls him up. Kisses him. I love you. I love you too. Now go get ready. We're getting married in 7 hours. What should I wear? Whatever makes you happy. That's not helpful. White. Wear white. His hands frame her face. I want to see you in white. That feels a little traditional for a mafia wedding. Humor me. She kisses him again. Fine. White. At 3 p.m. Elena stands in front of the mirror in Ji-hyuk's bedroom. The dress is simple. White. Tea-length. Off the shoulder. She found it in the back of the closet, something Ji-hyuk had bought months ago and never told her about. Her hair is natural. Curls loose around her shoulders. Minimal makeup. She looks at herself and sees someone different from the woman in the shelter. Different from the woman painting death in the rain. She sees a bride. A knock at the door. Come in, she says. Young-sun enters. Stops. Stares. You look. He trails off. Pregnant and tired? Beautiful. You look beautiful, Mrs. Choi. I'm not Mrs. Choi yet. You will be in 2 hours. He holds out his arm. Boss asked me to bring you downstairs. Downstairs? The garden. That's where the ceremony is. Elena takes his arm. You're being unusually nice. Should I be worried? Boss threatened to kill me if I made you cry before the wedding. Smart man. They take the elevator down to the first floor. Out through the back entrance. Into the private garden Elena didn't know existed. It's small. Intimate. Surrounded by high walls. And filled with flowers. Cherry blossoms. Orchids. Peonies. Spider lilies. Every flower from Ji-hyuk's tattoos blooming in the fading afternoon light. Elena's breath catches. He had them planted 3 days ago, Young-sun says quietly. After you said yes. He wanted you to get married in a garden. Where is he? Waiting. Young-sun leads her down a stone path. Mrs. Choi, Elena, can I say something? Yes. I've worked for Boss for 8 years. I've never seen him like this. Happy, I mean. He glances at her. You're good for him. He's good for me too. I know. That's why I'll kill anyone who tries to hurt you. Not because boss ordered it. Because you matter. Elena's eyes burn. Don't make me cry, young son. Sorry. He stops. Points ahead. He's there. Elena looks. Ji-hyuk stands beneath an arch of white orchids. Black suit. Hair pushed back. Tattoos visible at his collar and wrists. He's not alone. There's an officiant, a woman in robes. And Dae-young, holding a folder. But mostly, there's Ji-hyuk, looking at her like she's the only thing in the world. Young-sun releases her arm. Go. Elena walks down the path. Through the garden. To the man she's about to marry. Ji-hyuk meets her halfway. You wore white, he says. You asked me to. You look, he stops. Swallows. You look perfect. So do you. He takes her hand. Leads her to the arch. The officiant smiles. Shall we begin? The ceremony was short and simple. No grand speeches or elaborate vows. The officiant asks if they take each other. They say yes. She asks if they promise to love and protect each other. They say yes. She asks if they'll build a home together for themselves and their son. They say yes. Then by the power vested in me, I pronounce you husband and wife. The officiant closes her book. You may kiss. Ji-hyuk pulls Elena close. Kisses her. Soft. Slow. Like they have all the time in the world. When they break apart, he rests his forehead against hers. Hi, wife. Hi, husband. How do you feel? Terrified. Happy. Confused. All of it. Good. Me too. Young-sun clears his throat. Boss. The document. Ji-hyuk steps back. Takes the folder from Dae-young. Hands it to Elena. What is this? She asks. Open it. She does. Inside, a bank statement. Her name. And a balance of $127,000. What? The money Calvin stole. Plus interest. Plus compensation for what you lost. Ji-hyuk's voice is calm. It's yours. Do whatever you want with it. Elena stares at the paper. At the number. At proof that everything Calvin took has been returned. How did you? I made him transfer it this morning. As part of his apology. Ji-hyuk takes her hand. It won't bring hope back. But it's a start. Elena's hands shake. This is too much. It's not enough. But it's what I could get. He cups her face. You don't have to decide what to do with it now. Just know it's there. Waiting. When you're ready. She folds the paper. Tucks it into her dress. Looks at her husband. Thank you. You don't have to thank me for returning what was already yours. I'm not thanking you for the money. I'm thanking you for seeing me. For understanding what this means. Ji-hyuk kisses her forehead. Always. Young-sun coughs again. Boss. There's one more thing. What? Calvin's apology. It's live. Now. Ji-hyuk pulls out his phone. Shows Elena. On the screen, Calvin, sitting in front of a camera. Face still bruised. Eyes hollow. My name is Calvin Hayes, he says, voice flat. 2 years ago, I abandoned my girlfriend, Elena Washington, when she was 7 months pregnant. I stole $85,000 from her. I left her homeless. And because of my actions, she lost our daughter. The camera zooms in. I lied to everyone. I said Elena trapped me. That she miscarried out of spite. But the truth is, I destroyed her life because I was selfish and cruel. His voice cracks. 3 days ago, I saw her again. She was pregnant. Happy. And I kicked her. Because I couldn't stand to see her doing better without me. Elena's breath catches. I'm sorry, Calvin says. To Elena. To her husband. To her son. To everyone I hurt. I'm getting therapy. I'm making restitution. And I'm asking for nothing in return. Because I don't deserve forgiveness. The video ends. Elena stares at the black screen. It's already been viewed 2 million times, Young-sun says. Every major news outlet in Seoul is running it. Elena looks at Ji-hyuk. You did this. I told you I'd make him pay. She doesn't have words. This is everything. Not everything. But close. Ji-hyuk pockets his phone. Takes her hand. Come on. I have one more surprise. I don't think I can handle more surprises. This one you'll like. I promise. He leads her through the garden. To a side gate. Opens it. Beyond, a car. A driver. And a road leading out of Seoul. Where are we going? Elena asks. Jeju Island. For the honeymoon. Ji-hyuk helps her into the car. Just you, me, and our son. No guards. No business. No Calvin. Is that safe? Probably not. But you wanted freedom. So I'm giving you 48 hours of it. Elena laughs. Climbs in. You're crazy. You married me anyway. I did. He kisses her. Best decision you ever made. We'll see. The car pulls away. Seoul disappears behind them. Ahead, the coast. The sea. 2 days of nothing but each other. Elena leans against Ji-hyuk's shoulder. His arm wraps around her. His hand rests on her stomach. Are you happy? He asks. She thinks about hope. About the shelter. About Calvin's apology. About the money. About the man beside her. Yes, she says. I think I am. Good. Because I'm about to spend the next 48 hours making sure you stay that way. How? You'll see. Elena closes her eyes. Feels the baby move. Feels Ji-hyuk's heartbeat against her cheek. And for the first time in 2 years, she lets herself believe that maybe, just maybe, everything will be okay. Elena and Ji-hyuk are married, and Calvin just confessed everything to millions of people. But is this really the end? Or is there something darker waiting for them in Jeju? Jeju Island is quiet. No guards. No phones. Just a villa on the coast with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the ocean. Ji-hyuk carries Elena over the threshold even though she protests. This is ridiculous, she says. I'm pregnant, not injured. It's tradition. You're a mafia boss. Since when do you care about tradition? He sets her down in the living room. Looks at her. Since I married you. The villa is beautiful. White walls. Wooden floors. Everything open and bright. Elena walks to the windows. Stares at the sea. How long have you owned this place? I don't. I rented it for the weekend. You rented it? Yes. The man who owns half of Seoul rented a villa. I wanted it to be ours. Not mine. Not something with history or ghosts. He comes up behind her. Arms around her waist. Just ours. Elena leans back against him. No business this weekend? None. No emergency calls? Yong-sun has orders to handle everything. What if something happens? Then it happens without me. His hand spreads across her stomach. For 48 hours, the only thing that matters is you. And him. You're really doing this. I'm really doing this. She turns in his arms. Looks up at him. Who are you and what have you done with my husband? He smiles. Actually smiles. He's trying something new. It's called being present. I like it. Good. Because I plan to be very present for the next 2 days. He kisses her. Slow. Deep. She tastes salt air and promises. When he pulls back, his eyes are dark. Are you hungry? Starving. There's food in the kitchen. Or we could order something. What do you want? You, he says. But food first. They eat on the deck. Grilled fish. Rice. Kimchi. Simple food. The kind Elena hasn't had time to enjoy in months. The sun sets over the ocean. Gold and pink and orange bleeding across the water. This is nice, Elena says. Quiet. Too quiet. No. Perfect. She takes another bite. When was the last time you took a vacation? Ji-hyuk thinks. I don't remember. Ever. My father didn't believe in vacations. He said rest makes you weak. Your father sounds like he was awful. He was. Ji-hyuk's voice is flat. He built an empire on blood and fear. Taught me to do the same. Died when I was 23 and left me everything. Do you miss him? No. Not at all. He wasn't a man worth missing. Ji-hyuk sets down his chopsticks. He used to say love was a weakness. That caring about someone gave them power over you. What do you think? I think he was half right. Love is power. But not the kind that destroys. The kind that builds. He looks at her. You have power over me, Elena. And I'm not afraid of it. Her throat tightens. What made you change your mind? About love, I mean. You did. The first night I saw you painting in the rain, I thought you were crazy. Who paints in a storm? He pauses. But then I looked closer. And I saw what you were really painting. Not death. Transformation. Rebirth. You were turning grief into something beautiful. That's what art is. No, that's what survival is. He reaches across the table, takes her hand. You survived something that should have killed you. And instead of letting it make you bitter, you made it into gardens. That's not weakness. That's strength I'll never have. Elena's eyes burn. You have it. You just don't see it yet. Maybe. He stands. Pulls her up. Come on. Where? I want to show you something. He leads her down the steps from the deck. Onto the beach. The sand is cool under her feet. They walk in silence. Waves crash. Stars emerge. Ji-hyuk stops. Points up. See that, he says. The stars. The constellation. There. Cassiopeia. Elena looks. I don't see it. That cluster. Shaped like a W. He stands behind her. Guides her gaze with his hand. My mother used to take me to the roof when my father was drunk. She'd point out constellations and tell me their stories. What's Cassiopeia's story? She was a queen. Vain. Boastful. The gods punished her by putting her in the sky upside down. He pauses. My mother said she was up there as a reminder that beauty without humility is just decoration. Your mother sounds wise. She was. Until my father killed her. Elena turns. What? Ji-hyuk's face is expressionless. I was 12. She wanted to leave him. He found out. Made it look like an accident. His jaw tightens. I watched him cry at her funeral. Give a speech about how much he loved her. And I knew. Knew what? That he was a monster. That I never wanted to be like him. His hand cups her face. That's why I need you to know I'll never hurt you. No matter what. Even if you want to leave. Even if you hate me. I'll never be him. I know. Do you? Yes. She covers his hand with hers. Because you just told me your worst secret and you're terrified I'll use it against you. Your father would never have done that. Ji-hyuk exhales. I've never told anyone that. I won't tell anyone either. I know. That's why I told you. They stand on the beach. Waves at their feet. Stars overhead. Ji-hyuk. Thank you. For bringing me here. For telling me about your mother. For trying. You don't have to thank me for being a decent husband. Yes, I do. Because decent isn't something you were taught. It's something you're choosing. She kisses him. And I love you for it. He kisses her back. Deeper. His hands frame her face. When they break apart, he's breathing hard. We should go inside. Why? Because if we don't, I'm going to make love to you on this beach. Elena smiles. Would that be so bad? Yes. You're pregnant. There's sand. It's a logistical nightmare. She laughs. Fine. Inside. He lifts her. Carries her up the beach. I can walk, she protests. I know. Let me do this anyway. She wraps her arms around his neck. Lets him carry her. Ji-hyuk sets her down in the bedroom. It's simple. White sheets. Wooden furniture. Glass doors leading to a private balcony. This is beautiful, Elena says. Not as beautiful as you. That's a terrible line. It's true. She turns. He's watching her with that look. The one that makes her feel seen and vulnerable and safe all at once. Come here, she says. He does. She undresses him slowly. Unbuttons his shirt. Traces the tattoos she's memorized. Cherry blossoms. Spider lilies. Orchids over his heart. When did you get this one? She touches a new tattoo on his ribs. Small. Easy to miss. A footprint. Last week. What is it? Hope's footprint. From her birth certificate. His voice is quiet. I wanted her with me. With us. Elena's eyes fill. You got a tattoo of my daughter's footprint. Our daughter. She was mine the moment you told me about her. She kisses the tattoo. Then his chest. Then his mouth. Are you sure? He asks. The baby is fine. The doctor said we're fine. She pulls him closer. I need you. You have me. They make love slowly. Carefully. His hands never leave her stomach. Protecting. Even now. After, she lies against him. His heart pounds under her ear. Elena. I'm glad you said yes. To marrying you? To all of it. The baby. The wedding. This. His hand rests on her stomach. Everything. Me too. Even though I'm a monster? You're not a monster. You're just a man who's seen too much darkness. She lifts her head, looks at him. But you're choosing light now. That's what matters. What if the darkness comes back? Then we'll face it together. He pulls her closer, kisses her hair. I love you. I love you too. They fall asleep tangled together. The ocean outside. The stars overhead. Nothing between them but skin and promises. Elena wakes to sunlight and an empty bed. She sits up, pulls on Ji-hyuk's shirt, walks into the living room. He's on the balcony. Phone pressed to his ear. Face hard. She stops. Listens. I don't care what his lawyers say, Ji-hyuk says. Voice ice. If he contacts her again, I'll finish what I started. A pause. No, not a threat. A promise. He hangs up, turns, sees her. You're awake, he says. Who is that? No one. Ji-hyuk. He sighs. Calvin's father. Trying to negotiate. Negotiate what? Wants me to back off. Says Calvin's learned his lesson. Ji-hyuk's joy tightens. I told him no. What else did he say? That Calvin wants to apologize to you directly. In person. Elena goes still. What did you say? I said absolutely not. He's not getting within 100 feet of you ever again. What if I want to talk to him? You don't. How do you know? Because you're smart enough to know he doesn't deserve your time. Ji-hyuk steps closer. Elena. He kicked you. He stole from you. He killed your daughter through negligence. You owe him nothing. I know. But what? But maybe I need to hear him say it. Not through a video. Not through lawyers. Face to face. She touches her stomach. Foreclosure. No. Ji-hyuk. I said no. It's not safe. You'll be there. Your men will be there. How is that not safe? Because I don't trust him. And I don't trust myself around him. His voice drops. If he so much as looks at you wrong, I'll kill him. And I don't want you to see that. Elena steps onto the balcony. Takes his hand. I'm not asking for your permission. I'm telling you what I need. And I need to face him. One last time. So I can move on. Ji-hyuk stares at her. When did you become so stubborn? I've always been stubborn. You just didn't notice. I noticed. He pulls her close. Fine. You can meet him. But on my terms. My location. My men. And the second I think something is wrong, it's over. Deal. This is a terrible idea. Probably. But it's mine. He kisses her forehead. You're going to kill me one day. Not today. Not today, he agrees. They spend the rest of the day on the beach. Swimming. Talking. Existing. Elena floats on her back in the shallow water. Ji-hyuk stands beside her, hands supporting her. This is nice, she says. You keep saying that. Because it keeps being true. We should do this more often. What? Float in the ocean. Take time. Just us. He looks down at her. Build a life that's not just about surviving. About living. I'd like that. Then we'll do it. Once a month. Somewhere new. Anywhere you want. Even if there's danger? Especially if there's danger. I'll keep you safe. What if you can't? Then we'll be dangerous together. She laughs. Splashes him. He catches her wrist. Pulls her up. Kisses her with salt water between them. I'm serious, he says. No more just existing. We're living. For him. For hope. For us. Okay. We'll live. She touches his face. Starting now. Starting now. They stay in the water until the sun starts to set. Then they go inside. Shower together. Make dinner together. Sit on the deck and watch the stars emerge. Tomorrow we go back, Elena says. Yes. And we face Calvin. If that's what you want. It is. Then we will. He takes her hand. But tonight, we're here. Just us. Just us, she agrees. They go to bed early. Make love again. Slower this time. Softer. And when Elena falls asleep, Ji-hyuk holds her. Watches her breathe. Touches her stomach. I'll protect you, he whispers to their son. Both of you. No matter what it costs. The baby kicks against his palm. Ji-hyuk smiles. Outside, the ocean roars. Inside, his family sleeps. And for the first time in his life, Choi Ji-hyuk felt something other than rage. He felt peace. They returned to the city at noon. Young-sun is waiting at the penthouse. His face is grim. What happened? Ji-hyuk asks immediately. Calvin's in the hospital. Elena's breath catches. What? Suicide attempt. Last night, his father found him. Young-sun glances at Elena. He left a note. It mentions you. What does it say? Ji-hyuk demands. Young-sun pulls out his phone. Shows them a photo. The note is short. Handwritten. Elena, I'm sorry. For everything. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve to live knowing what I did to you. To hope? I'm a coward. I've always been a coward. But at least this way, you're free. Calvin. Elena stares at the words. Ji-hyuk's hand finds hers. Is he alive? Yes. Critical condition. They're not sure if he'll make it. Elena sinks onto the couch. This is my fault. No. Ji-hyuk kneels in front of her. This is not your fault. Calvin made his choices. You didn't force him to do anything. But if I hadn't asked to meet him, he still would have done this. Men like Calvin don't take responsibility. They run. This is just another way of running. What if he dies? Then he dies. And you move on. That's cold. That's survival. Ji-hyuk's voice softens. Elena, look at me. You are not responsible for his mental health. You are not responsible for his guilt. You are only responsible for yourself and our son. That's it. But, no buts. Calvin tried to destroy you. You survived. That's not a crime. That's strength. Elena's eyes fill. I don't feel strong. You are. Trust me. He pulls her close. Let him go. Whatever happens to him, it's not your burden to carry. She nods against his chest. Young-sun clears his throat. Boss, his father wants to talk to you. Tell him I'm unavailable. He's downstairs. He won't leave. Ji-hyuk's jaw clenches. Fine. Send him up. He looks at Elena. Stay here. No. I want to hear what he has to say. Elena. I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of other people making decisions about my life. She stands. I'm facing this. With you. Ji-hyuk studies her. Then nods. Together. Together. 3 minutes later, Richard Hayes walks into the penthouse. He's older than Elena expected. Mid-60s. Tired eyes. Expensive suit that looks slept in. He sees Elena. Stops. Mrs. Choi, he says. Thank you for seeing me. I'm not doing it for you. I know. He looks at Ji-hyuk. Can we talk? You have 5 minutes, Ji-hyuk says. Choose your words carefully. Calvin just tried to end his life and left a note for Elena. Is this really guilt, or is it one more manipulation? And what does his father want from Ji-hyuk and Elena? Richard Hayes stands in the center of Ji-hyuk's living room like a man waiting for execution. My son tried to kill himself last night, he says. The doctors say if I'd found him 10 minutes later, he'd be dead. And you want sympathy, Ji-hyuk says. Voice flat. No. I want you to understand what you've done. What I've done. Ji-hyuk steps forward. Young-sun moves with him. Your son kicked my pregnant wife. He stole from her. He abandoned her while she was carrying his child. He caused the death of that child through neglect. His voice drops to something lethal. And you think I'm the problem? I think you destroyed a man who was already broken. Good. That was the goal. Richard's face hardens. He's my son. And she's my wife. Carrying my son. So tell me, Mr. Hayes, which life matters more to you? Because I know which one matters more to me. Elena touches Ji-hyuk's arm. Let him speak. Ji-hyuk doesn't look away from Richard. But he steps back. Slightly. Richard exhales. I'm not here to defend Calvin. What he did was unforgivable. I know that now. I've seen the records. The photos. I know my son destroyed your life, Mrs. Choi. He looks at Elena. And I'm sorry. For not seeing it sooner. For believing his lies. For raising a man capable of that cruelty. Your apology means nothing, Elena says quietly. Not to me. Not anymore. I know. But I'm giving it anyway. Richard's voice cracks. Because my son is lying in a hospital bed with scars on his wrists, and all I can think about is the daughter you held while she died. Alone. Because of him. Elena's hand goes to her stomach. Why are you really here? Because Calvin left another note. One he didn't want anyone to see. But I found it. Richard pulls an envelope from his jacket. Holds it out. It's for you. I don't know what it says. But I think you should read it before you decide what happens next. Nothing happens next, Ji-hyuk says. Calvin tried to kill himself. That's not Elena's problem. I know. But she deserves to know what he was thinking. What he's been thinking since the mall. Richard's hand shakes. Please. Just read it. Then I'll leave. I'll never contact you again. I swear. Elena looks at Ji-hyuk. He shakes his head. She takes the envelope anyway. Thank you for coming, Mr. Hayes, she says. But Ji-hyuk is right. What Calvin does now isn't my responsibility. It never was. Richard nods. I understand. For what it's worth, I'm glad you survived him. I'm glad you found someone who sees your worth. He glances at Ji-hyuk. Even if he's terrifying. Especially because he's terrifying, Elena says. Richard almost smiles. Then he leaves. The door closes. Silence fills the room. Elena stares at the envelope. Her name written in Calvin's handwriting. You don't have to read it, Ji-hyuk says. I know. You don't owe him anything. I know that too. She sits on the couch. Opens the envelope. Pulls out 2 pages. Handwritten. Ji-hyuk sits beside her. Want me to read it first? No. I need to do this. She unfolds the pages. Begins to read. Elena. I don't know if you'll ever read this. I don't know if I deserve for you to read this. But I need to write it anyway. Because if I don't, I'll never be able to live with myself. And right now, I'm not sure I can anyway. I've spent the last 3 days thinking about Hope. About what she looked like. If she had your eyes or mine. If she would have been tall. What her laugh would have sounded like. I never asked those questions when you were pregnant. I never wanted to know. Because knowing made it real. And if it was real, I'd have to admit I was terrified. I was 28 years old. I had money and a career and a life I thought I wanted. And then you told me you were pregnant, and all I could think was that it was over. That you'd trapped me. That I'd never be free again. So I ran. I took your money because I told myself I deserved it. I left you because I told myself you'd be fine. You were strong. You'd survive. I never thought about what surviving would cost you. I never thought about Hope. When my father showed me the medical records, the ones your husband leaked, I saw her birth certificate. Her death certificate. 6 hours. She lived for 6 hours. And you were alone. I did that. I killed her. Not directly. But I might as well have. Because if I'd stayed, if I'd helped, if I'd been anything other than a coward, she'd be alive. You'd have your daughter. And I'd have a reason to be a better man. I'm not writing this to ask for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I'm writing this because you need to know that I see what I did. I see who I am. And I hate myself for it. Weeks ago, I kicked you. I saw you pregnant and glowing and happy, and I hated you for it. Because you survived me. You rebuilt. You found someone who loves you the way I never could. And I wanted to destroy that. Not because I still love you, but because I can't stand knowing that I was the villain in your story. I deserve everything your husband has done to me. The money. The humiliation. The apology. All of it. But I can't live knowing what I took from you. So I'm not going to. By the time you read this, I'll either be dead or close to it. And that's okay. Because at least this way, you're free. You don't have to worry about me showing up again. You don't have to carry the weight of my guilt. You can just live. With your husband. With your son. With the family I stole from you once already. I hope he looks like you. I hope he has your strength. I hope he never knows what his mother survived to give him life. I'm sorry, Elena. For everything. For Hope. For the kick. For every moment I made you feel small. You were never small. You were always bigger than me. I just couldn't see it until it was too late. Calvin. Elena finishes reading. Folds the letter. Sets it on the coffee table. Ji-hyuk watches her. What do you want to do? She's quiet for a long time. Then, nothing. Nothing. He's right. He doesn't deserve forgiveness. And I don't owe him closure. She looks at Ji-hyuk. If he lives, fine. If he dies, fine. Either way, I'm done carrying him. You're sure? I'm sure. She touches her stomach. I have a son to raise, a husband to love, a life to build. Calvin Hayes doesn't get any more of my time. Ji Hyuk pulls her close, kisses her hair. I'm proud of you. For what? For letting go. I didn't let go. I just put him down. She leans into him. There's a difference. What's the difference? Letting go implies he mattered. Putting him down means he doesn't. Not anymore. Ji Hyuk's chest rumbles with something between a laugh and a growl. God, I love you. I love you too. They sit in silence. The letter between them. The past behind them. Finally, Elena stands. Takes the letter. Walks to the fireplace. What are you doing? Ji Hyuk asks. Getting rid of ghosts. She throws the letter into the flames. It catches immediately. Burns fast. Turns to ash. Elena watches until there's nothing left. Then she turns to her husband. I'm ready now, she says. For what? For everything. The baby. Our life. All of it. She holds out her hand. No more looking back. Ji Hyuk takes her hand. Stands. No more looking back. Promise? Promise. She kisses him. Good. Because I'm starving, and our son is kicking me like he's training for the World Cup. Ji Hyuk laughs. Actually laughs. Then let's feed him. They walk to the kitchen. Together. The past burning behind them. The future waiting ahead. 3 months later. Elena is 8 months pregnant when Calvin is released from the psychiatric facility. She doesn't know this because Ji Hyuk doesn't tell her. He handles it quietly. Has Young-sun make sure Calvin understands. Stay away, stay quiet, stay alive. Those are the only rules. Calvin agrees. He moves to Busan. Changes his name. Gets a job in his father's company under an alias. Starts therapy 3 times a week. He never contacts Elena again. His father sends one final message through Ji Hyuk's lawyer. Thank you for letting him live. I know you didn't have to. Ji Hyuk doesn't respond. Elena knows none of this. She's too busy painting the nursery, attending birthing classes, and waddling around the penthouse complaining about her swollen ankles. I'm the size of a house, she tells Ji Hyuk one morning. You're beautiful. I'm enormous. You're carrying our son. That's beautiful. You have to say that. You're contractually obligated. I'm saying it because it's true. He kneels in front of her. Kisses her stomach. Isn't that right, Heejun? Your mother is beautiful. The baby kicks his face. Elena laughs. He agrees with me, not you. He's a traitor. Ji Hyuk stands. Come on. We have an appointment. With who? The photographer. For the maternity shoot. I told you I'm not doing that. You told me you'd think about it. I'm cashing in your thinking time. She glares at him. He smiles. She sighs. Fine. But if I look like a whale in these photos, you'll look perfect. Now get dressed. We're leaving in 20 minutes. The photographer is a woman in her 40s. Kind eyes. Gentle voice. She sets up in Ji Hyuk's garden, the one he had planted for the wedding. Elena wears white. Simple dress. Hair natural. No makeup except a little mascara. Ji Hyuk wears black. Shirt unbuttoned at the collar. Tattoos visible. Perfect, the photographer says. Now Ji Hyuk, stand behind her. Hands on her stomach. Elena, lean back into him. They do. The camera clicks. Beautiful. Now Elena, look at him. Ji Hyuk, kiss her forehead. Click. Now both of you, look at the camera. Don't smile. Just be. Click. They take photos for an hour. Different poses. Different lights. The photographer captures everything. Ji Hyuk's hands on Elena's belly, Elena's hands on his, them laughing when the baby kicks, them serious when the photographer asks them to think about meeting their son. At the end, the photographer shows them a few shots on her camera. Elena stares at one in particular. Ji Hyuk behind her, hands spread across her stomach, chin resting on her shoulder. She's looking at the camera with this expression, half happy, half terrified. Completely in love. That one, Elena says. I want that one. For the wall. Ji Hyuk asks. For everything. 1 month later. Elena goes into labor at 3 a.m. Her water breaks in bed. She shakes Ji Hyuk awake. It's time. He's up immediately. Calm. Efficient. Grabs the hospital bag. Calls Young-sun. Gets Elena to the car in under 5 minutes. Breathe, he tells her as they drive. I am breathing. Breathe slower. Don't tell me how to breathe. Sorry. Don't apologize. Just drive faster. He does. They reach the hospital at 3:47 a.m. Elena is rushed to a delivery room. Ji-hyuk doesn't leave her side. The contractions are brutal. Elena screams. Cries. Begs for it to be over. Ji-hyuk holds her hand. Lets her squeeze until his bones creak. Whispers to her, "You're doing amazing. You're so strong. I'm right here. I'm not leaving." At 7:23 a.m., after 4 hours of labor, Hee-jun Hope Choi is born. 6 pounds 4 ounces. Healthy. Screaming. The nurse places him on Elena's chest. She sobs. Holds him. Stares at his tiny face. He's here, she whispers. He's really here. Ji-hyuk leans over them both. Touches his son's head. His hand shakes. He's perfect, he says. Voice breaking. He looks like you. He has your eyes. He has your nose. He has your strength. Elena laughs through her tears. We made him. We did. The nurse takes the baby to clean him. Ji-hyuk kisses Elena. Long soft. Full of everything he can't say. Thank you, he whispers against her mouth. For what? For this. For him. For surviving long enough to give me this. Elena touches his face. Thank you for making me want to survive. Elena is cleaned up. Moved to a private room. Hee-jun is in a bassinet beside her bed, sleeping. Ji-hyuk sits in a chair, staring at his son like he can't believe he's real. You can hold him, Elena says. I don't want to wake him. He's asleep. He won't wake up. What if I drop him? You won't drop him. Ji-hyuk stands. Carefully lifts Hee-jun from the bassinet. The baby fits in his tattooed hands like he was made to be there. Ji-hyuk sits back down. Stares at his son's face. Hey, he whispers. I'm your dad. I know I'm scary. Most people think I'm a monster. But I'm going to try really hard not to be one for you. His voice cracks. I'm going to protect you. And your mom. And I'm going to teach you to be better than me. Kinder. Softer. I'm going to teach you that strength isn't just about fear. It's about love too. Elena's eyes fill. And I'm going to tell you about your sister. Hope. She didn't get to meet you. But she's the reason you're here. She's the reason your mom is strong enough to be your mom. Ji-hyuk touches Hee-jun's tiny hand. So you're going to grow up knowing her name. Knowing she mattered. Knowing she's part of this family even though she's gone. Hee-jun yawns. Curls into Ji-hyuk's chest. Ji-hyuk looks at Elena. I love you. I love you too. I'm terrified. Me too. We're going to mess this up. Probably. But we'll fix it together. Ji-hyuk smiles. Together. 6 months later. Hee-jun is 6 months old when Elena finishes her new mural. It's in the nursery. The entire wall. A garden of life. Cherry blossoms, orchids, peonies, spider lilies. And in the center, a small girl holding a baby boy's hand. Hope and Hee-jun. Together. Ji-hyuk stands in the doorway watching Elena paint the final details. It's beautiful, he says. It's them. I know. He comes up behind her. Wraps his arms around her waist. You did it. Did what? Turned grief into something that lives. He kisses her neck. Your grandmother would be proud. Elena sets down her brush. Turns in his arms. I think she'd be proud of all of it. The survival. The marriage. The baby. The fact that I'm happy. Are you? Happy? Yes. Are you? Ji-hyuk looks at the mural. At his son sleeping in the crib. At his wife in his arms. Yes, he says. I really am. 1 year later. Elena is painting in the garden. Ji-hyuk is on the phone with Young-sun. Hee-jun is sitting on a blanket, playing with blocks. Then he stands. Wobbles. Takes 1 step. 2. 3. Elena drops her brush. Ji-hyuk. He looks. Sees. Drops the phone. Hee-jun takes 4 more steps. Laughs. Falls on his butt. Elena and Ji-hyuk rush over. Scoop him up. Cover him in kisses. You did it. Elena says. You walked. Hee-jun giggles. Reaches for Ji-hyuk's face. Appa. Ji-hyuk freezes. Did he just? Say it again, baby, Elena urges. Appa. Hee-jun repeats, delighted with himself. Ji-hyuk's eyes fill. He buries his face in his son's neck. I love you. So much. Elena wraps her arms around both of them. We love you too. They stay like that. In the garden. Surrounded by flowers. A family that survived the worst and chose to build the best. Epilogue, 2 years later. Elena stands in an art gallery in Gangnam. Her first solo show. 20 paintings. All of them gardens. All of them life. The opening is packed. Critics. Collectors. Strangers who saw her story in the news 2 years ago and wanted to support her. Ji-hyuk stands beside her. Hee-jun on his hip. The boy is 3 now. Bright-eyed. Curious. Obsessed with his mother's paintings. Which one is your favorite? Elena asks her son. Hee-jun points to the largest painting. The one in the center of the gallery. It's a garden. Cherry blossoms. Orchids. Spider lilies. And in the middle, 2 figures. A woman holding a baby girl's hand and a man holding a baby boy's hand. Hope. Elena. Ji-hyuk. Hee-jun. A family. Complete. That one, Hee-jun says. Because that's us. That's right, baby. That's us. A reporter approaches. Young woman. Recorder in hand. Mrs. Choi, can I ask you a question? Of course. Your story, the abuse, the loss, the survival, it's inspired so many people. What would you say to someone going through something similar right now? Elena is quiet for a moment. I'd say this. What happened to you wasn't your fault. How you survived is your strength. And the life you build after is your victory. She looks at Ji-hyuk. At Hee-jun. Don't let your past define your future. Let your future redefine your past. That's beautiful, the reporter says. It's true, Elena corrects. The reporter moves on. Elena turns to Ji-hyuk. How are you feeling? He asks. Proud. Terrified. Happy. All of it. Good. That means you're alive. We're alive, she corrects. We're alive, he agrees. Hee-jun tugs on Elena's dress. Yama, I'm hungry. Of course you are. Let's get you food. They leave the gallery together. The 3 of them. A family built on ashes and choice and love. As they walk out, Elena glances back at her painting. At Hope's face. At the garden she painted around her daughter's memory. And she knows, this is how you survive. You turn pain into art. Grief into gardens. Endings into beginnings. You choose to live. And you never, ever let anyone make you feel small again. The end. Elena survived. She thrived. She built a family from the ruins of her past. If this story touched you, hit that like button. Drop a heart in the comments for Hee-jun and his fierce mama. And subscribe for more Afro-Korean romance stories where survival becomes strength and love becomes power. What should our next story be about? Comment below. Thank you for watching Elena and Ji-hyuk's story. Remember, your past doesn't define you. Your choices do. Now go build your garden.